All right, Maximus Analysis here for June 2nd, 2016, and we see the ES is continuing its movement up from the pivot low. I have a level that we're looking at overnight to see what they're going to do at it, which is a 2105 area. After that, I think it's 2116, but I will be posting the levels early in the morning as I do every morning. So we'll continue to watch these levels and see what the overnight session gives. You can see the weekly time frame. Again, we're continuing to watch here because you can see the volume again. It's going up, but it's going up on declining volume. And again, I understand the argument of saying like, so what? You know, at the end of the day, so what? So we'll continue to see what happens, but we don't want them to get back into the 2080 area again, because we've been talking about this area for years, literally, and we want that 2082 to hold if there's any type of pullback. Okay, last month's low. Again, we'll look at even the monthly because a lot of people will not look at it. Just we could see that the volume was okay for last month. And this is a historic move. This move from these lows to this high is the highest we've ever seen in 90 years. So again, you're witnessing history literally. So regarding that, we'll continue to see what goes on for the rest of the day or rest of the week, closing out a short week, but not boring week. Well, some of the days were boring, but going to the NQ, we see that we got back to that 45.23 level. Again, we could see on the daily time frame, that was the weekly. On the daily time frame for the NASDAQ QQQ, we want to make sure we understand that what we have right now is lower high unless they break, of course, 4,600 and higher lows. So we got to move one way or the other, and right now I'm not going long right here. Again, if I'm not going to go long here, I'm definitely not going long here, and I don't trade breakouts. So that's something that I personally have seen has just been, typically people are not going to put their stop where they need to when they trade breakouts. And I'll do an educational video on that one as well. YM, we know that we're at this pivotal, basically this 17,900 level. And we've been watching now that they broke above that. Are they going to continue and basically go to take out that previous high, which is around 18,100? Let's look at a couple names, and you can see that Amazon is breaking out to new highs, but is right here where you're going to go get long if you're willing to put your stop about $50 away. If you're not, you're going to have to wait for a dip. Okay, and again, looking at this weekly, I think that you see the volume starting to really gas out. So I'm not a person I'm not taking a breakout. I'm just not a breakout trader. If you took it, again, based on the weekly, I'm a person I would have to put my stop down here. That's just asinine in my opinion, or maybe a couple stops back. But even at the breakout, you're still $50 away. So again, you could say I made 1-to-1, but I would say not to initiate a position right here. Again, it just, to me, it's not the place where you would initiate a long. Price line continued. It's just very sideways on the weekly time frame, and right now on the daily time frame, they're getting back to kind of oversold, overbought conditions. And you see the volume kind of gassed out, even though it was up $12, it kind of gassed out. For $1,000 stock, it's just the equivalent of a $100 stock moving up $1.20. So kind of keep things in perspective. We have Apple on the daily that, we'll see what they look like. Again, we saw that they had a nice little pullback here. Let's look at the weekly time frame for Apple, and you can see that you still have a lower high in place, and you want to see where this weekly candle closes. Again, if they break below last week's low, I mean a 2-bar pullback off the 200, maybe, but you can still see that they're definitely still in a defined downtrend, or what we could look at as loosely putting a down channel. Okay, so maybe you want to get in around 104 or thereabout to get to re-short versus just in the middle of the channel. Last but not least, let's look at VRX on the daily, and we could see if we go down here that we are at a critical point right now. We need to, test this 3096 area twice, and we want them to not break below this 2827. If they do, they potentially, of course, if they fill this gap, they could come back and test this 2320 area quickly. Again, we saw that they broke down. Now they're, again, ideally you would probably want it to pop up here, but this is not an ideal world. So again, a pop up above that, below this this little channel right here that I put based on this low and this low, getting back up to there to flush for more downside might, again, the trend is definitely to the downside in my opinion. I would need to see it stick in the dirt a little bit more, or some higher low put in place besides this one. So let's continue to watch it and see what happens. Exciting times. Boring week, sideways a lot of days. It ended up being the first half of today was really sideways, and they really woke up the latter part of the week, latter part of the day. You can see from here, you can see from 10 o'clock they've been pretty much straight forward. Yes, from 10 o'clock again we saw the sideways movement on the ES, sideways, boom, break this low, and it's just been that type of time. So again, you can kind of see that they came back to these previous levels and held. So we'll continue to watch. They're about right here. We'll see what overnight action looks like, and again, if they can hold this 2100 area at least for the pullback, or if they pull back into it, just a nice neat one-off, and then try to see if they can go for highs tomorrow. So again, take care and trade them well.